straightening up my room. I do. This apartment has a lot of closet space. It's one of my favorite things about living here. Let me turn this down. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about living here is like the amount of closet space that it has. So I was just kind of up. I always wake up super early. There's so much right now going on in my life, and I am so just really very depressed. Depression is really kicking my ass, and I cannot sleep well, deeply. I went to sleep pretty early, so that's another thing. If I went to sleep early, I'm gonna wake up early. But anyway, I just wanted to wake up, kind of go live, straighten up my room a little bit, roll up, maybe do like a live read with me or something first thing in the morning. I am reading a couple of books right now. Get down, Mittens, and stop. Stop, get down. Stop. Chicken Soup for the African American Woman's Soul, and The Fiance. Look at that cover. I love that cover. It's so cute, pretty, blood splattered. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I wanted to make me some coffee, but I'm gonna have to run to the grocery store and get some coffee. Oh, Cheeto wants to come in. You want to come in, Cheetah Beats? Come on. Come on. Let me take it. Watching this girl, and I'm so happy that I came across one of her videos, because just yesterday I was trying to think of what her name was here on YouTube and who she was, and I could not find anything in my history where she was in my history at all. And so I finally came across one of her videos this morning. She is, dang it, I went off of it, but anyway, she is the creator, Hitomi Mochizuki. It's spelled Hitomi. That's the first name, and the second name is Mochizuki. She's really beautiful. She's really like holistic and calm, and she releases some of the
MedStar gets me
straightening up my room. I do. This apartment has a lot of closet space. It's one of my favorite things about living here. Let me turn this down. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about living here is like the amount of closet space that it has. So I was just kind of up. I always wake up super early. There's so much right now going on in my life, and I am so just really very depressed. Depression is really kicking my ass, and I cannot sleep well, deeply. I went to sleep pretty early, so that's another thing. If I went to sleep early, I'm gonna wake up early. But anyway, I just wanted to wake up, kind of go live, straighten up my room a little bit, roll up, maybe do like a live read with me or something first thing in the morning. I am reading a couple of books right now. Get down, Mittens, and stop. Stop, get down. Stop. for the African American woman's soul and the fiance. Look at that cover. I love that cover. It's so cute, pretty, blood splattered. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I wanted to make me some coffee, but I'm gonna have to run to the grocery store and get some coffee. Oh, Cheeto wants to come in. You wanna come in, Cheetah Beats? Come on. Come on. Watching this girl, and I'm so happy that I came across one of her videos, because just yesterday I was trying to think of what her name was here on YouTube and who she was, and I could not find anything in my history where she was in my history at all. And so I finally came across one of her videos this morning. She is, dang it, I went off of it, but anyway, she is the creator, Hitomi Mochizuki. It's spelled Hitom.
Relating to diet or food, because it's hard enough to exist in a human body and figure out how to fuel yourself well without tons of judgment, without this feeling that there's a right and wrong way to eat or a right and wrong way for your body to look. And I just needed to take a step back from any sort of like commentary and feedback on that. It's such an intimate thing, what you choose to feed yourself. I've been in healthy, regulated places. I've also been in like deep spells of confusion.
And I like that this, I'm dropping stuff, that this girl just made about food and about how hard it is to eat, to fuel yourself, to find what you really like. And that point is important, because it's really good to be mindful about how we judge the way that other people eat and how we comment on, even if it's just that we're going out with a girlfriend and she eats something that you maybe wouldn't eat or you maybe wouldn't like. You don't have to comment on that. Like, it's okay to shut the hell up about how other people eat and what other people, I have been around people that are so judgmental and ignorant about the way that other people eat and the food that other people choose to eat. And I think that that's really, really rude. And I think that people should stop and shut the hell up and be mindful of not commenting on and making people feel alienated because of the way that they eat or what they eat, whatever. That's really weird and really ignorant.
In like deep spells of confusion, had one or two dips back into binge eating. Very minor, but just noticing me wanting to use food as a coping method to avoid feeling my feelings, quite literally stuffing them down. It feels terrible, but the more quickly I forgive myself in those moments, the more quickly I just return to a regulated place. And I feel like so much dysfunction and imbalance happens when we are avoiding our feelings. And so the first thing that I try to do when I feel like shaming myself in some way, and then all those self-harming actions that follow, is try to deconstruct that shame around what I'm feeling, letting myself be kind and speak kindly to myself when I feel like disappearing, instead of being like, oh, I can't believe I'm 27 and still struggling with sadness. I can't believe I'm still here having these same thoughts. And my immediate knee-jerk reaction is to think that, and that only prolongs the length at which I am feeling like shit. And the moment that I start speaking kindly to myself, I just move through it. And it's such, a non intuitive thing that like you have to love yourself through those bullying, hateful thoughts that you have about yourself has been the only way through is just returning back to love as quickly as possible. And it's just been a very big theme in my life. Let me just say that. That's why I've disappeared from the internet more and more, because I have been struggling with my mental health and not feeling like it's okay for me to in the midst of so many crazy things going on and with all of my privileges. And I've basically been in a prolonged state of like not feeling valid enough to take up space if I'm not doing something productive in society or sharing something positive online. And I'm just learning to be present with myself through all phases. And if I can continue being an example of that or sharing something positive online and being with my mental health and not feeling like it's okay for me to in the midst of so many crazy things going on and with all of my privileges. And I've basically been in a prolonged state of like not feeling valid enough to take up space if I'm not doing something productive in society or sharing something positive online. And I'm just learning to be present with myself through all phases. And if I can continue being an example of that, that is going to be fulfilling enough. And I'm just giving myself some grace because I really do love sharing on here. And I know that I don't need to show up any type of way, that I'm creating this little world and we're creating this community together. So yeah, I've just been having some deep moments with myself. I've been at the bottom of the well in some of this space off of the internet, but I've also been really happy and really discovering myself. I'm in the midst of my so-called Saturn return. I'm learning to rely on people and ask for things and need people, which is so scary but also feels so good. I'm just learning how much I need family in my life, and I've kind of like denied that for a while. Anyway, I just put some sugar snap peas into here, broccoli, carrot. This smells so good. In here, I'm going to put carrots. I love a pickled carrot. I feel like I want to be way more of a witch in this era of my life and just make more concoctions and little ancestral medicine.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead, tonight,
I've never spoken to a professional about that, and it's been so eye-opening. And when I put all the puzzle pieces together from my past, from my conditioning, it really makes a lot of sense why I constantly feel like my body is wrong and that something about it needs to change. And
like, not only is it rude because you don't know, not only is it rude to comment on people, how people eat and their choice of food, because you don't know what they're going through on a personal level. You don't know what trauma a person has surrounding food, whether they are anemic, bulimic, or just a overeater or whatever. But not only that, but also your food is deeply connected to who you are as a human being, as a person. How you choose to eat most of the time comes from your family origins, your mother. You know, you have very fond memories of food with your mom and your friends and stuff like that. That's not something that you can necessarily control. That just is what it is. And people should really leave people alone. I guess that's my whole thing. I don't understand what the hell is so hard about leaving people alone and letting, as long as they are not harming themselves or harming other people, leave people alone and be supportive instead of a fucking jerk.
My body is wrong and something about it needs to change. And how certain belief systems existed in my family and my mother. And I was meditating earlier and putting my hand on my gut. I was feeling a little bloated yesterday, and I was like, oh, I wonder what I ate. And my body was just so Grateful that I'm able to listen so deeply now and listen so lovingly to when it feels out of whack. And I really just started feeling my mom, how much I saw her shape her body and speak negatively to herself, and how I have the power to end that ancestral curse that I know was passed down to her from all of my forefathers, from all of my foremothers. And I'm excited to be kind to myself and almost love myself the way that I wish that my mother did. I sometimes would shame her for not teaching me certain things. I felt kind of abandoned from her or by her at times, and how much more guidance I wish that she gave me. And her response would always be, I didn't know these things that you're wanting to learn. I didn't know how to teach you because I never learned. And I didn't understand that. I couldn't let it go. I wanted her to be something that I can't even be for myself. And if I could have that high of an expectation for her, let me try and have it for myself. Let me try and do it for myself, because I've touched levels of love and belonging that neither of my parents probably ever did. And to expect them to regard me, to communicate with me like my friends do, is a really big ask and must feel so foreign to them. And I am growing up with better circumstances than they did, and it's a struggle for me. It's a struggle for me to always communicate well. It's a struggle for me to reprogram these hateful thoughts about the way that I look. And so it's just been a really wonderful return to compassion. All of these little reflections. There's also an immense sense of relief knowing that a lot of the ways I feel about myself are not just my fault. They've been passed down. We live in a patriarchy. People profit off of our insecurities. Anyway, let's pack in order. Let's see who the lucky person's gonna be. Sophia. Let's see what she gets. Sophia ordered for you. Got a her, him, pet, or kid on your list? Etsy experts curated their top picks for everyone, no matter their vibe. How can I improve this background for my time of use? Try removing some of the smaller items to declutter. The studio has upgraded.
I used to think that tea was just tea until I learned that the right blends could actually completely change how my body handles stress, digestion, and mood. So now I build my days with tea rituals in mind, from morning to afternoon into the evening. Each one designed to tell my nervous system exactly what to do. And no, it's not just chamomile before bed. So in this video, I'm going to show you the different herbal teas that I drink throughout the day to support my nervous system, my gut, my digestion, and my overall health. I'm going to share a variety of different drink options that you can make so that there's something for everyone. So let's first start with my morning tea ritual. I used to rely on caffeine for bowel movements in the morning, and it got to a point where if I didn't have my morning coffee, I wouldn't be able to poop. And that's when I knew that my digestion was out of whack. And that's when I started looking at different herbal ingredients that could really support my digestion and help me poop without the caffeine. And that's when I stumbled upon this ingredient called aged mandarin peel, also known as tempeh. Aged mandarin peel is great for digestion. Whenever you're feeling bloated, whenever you
All those purrs.
I have shocking news. You're dead. And how'd you know? Welcome to the junction, where you choose one place to spend eternity and who to spend.
Hey guys, it's Haley, and welcome to another bookish video.
Get out, you're gonna fall. Oh my goodness.
explosive at the end. This one is so severely underrated. I mean, I think Mia Ballard is underrated as a whole because she's one of my favorite authors now.
I think that I want to listen to
is ingenious. If you are
an audiobook.
Lana Del Rey, vinyl, ultra violence era type of girly, read this. Lana Del Rey, vinyl, ultra violence era type of girly, read this immediately. Next up, we will get back into thrillers. We have The Lying Club by Annie Ward. This is perfect for winter. We're entering the winter season, and this is a very snowy thriller. It follows really a town more than its residents. We have a lot of perspectives in this uppity little wealthy town. So if you like rich people drama, this is perfect for you. And at this hoity-toity school, one morning, as it's beautifully snowing outside, they wheel out two bodies. So over the course of the book, we are following all these different perspectives, like I mentioned, trying to narrow in on different suspects and figure out who was responsible for the deaths of these two people at this prestigious school. It is full of juicy drama and twists. This is another one where I feel like reality TV, you're going to eat this up. The drama, the secrets, the lies, all of that feels so big in this book. And the twists are so well done. Atmosphere is so well done. The wintry atmosphere stands out so much to me when I think about reading this book, so it's perfect for the season, and it's never one that I see on any wintry holiday style thriller recommendation videos, but I'm here to recommend it for you now. And then lastly, to wrap and it just so complete.
I have I've got all 10 books that I'm able to have on my shelf, on my Libby Library. So I've got Out There Screaming, which is like an anthology compilation book of horror and thriller stories, short stories by Black authors. And it is... What part of it is done by Jordan Peele? It's edited by Jordan Peele, and the introduction is done by Jordan Peele. You know, he's done a lot recently with Black horror and Black thrillers, and he's been good. So I like that book. I've gotten through the first one or two stories of that's been okay. I also have Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough. I have Educated by Tara Westover, which is a book that I also physically have, and that's about this girl who her and her family were actually raised in a different type of way by her parents, or was it by her father? I think it was by both of their parents. Her and her siblings were raised out in the wilderness, and they were taught everything that they know by their parents. But what happened was one of the older siblings ended up, I think, running away or leaving home, and he was so once he got out into the real world, and it wasn't nature anymore, and he wasn't just surrounded by his family, he was so taken aback and discouraged by all that he didn't know about stuff, just general stuff that everybody else was like, you don't know that? And he would be like, no. So he ended up writing her a letter and being like, yo, you really need to get the fuck out of there, because I guess they were loved and this, that, and the other, but he really felt like they were also shortchanged on a lot of things. And he wrote his sister and he was like, you need to get out of there and you need to start learning all this stuff that you need to learn about life. And so that's what the title of it is Educated, and that's what started her own journey of teaching herself, and she ends up going to university and this and the other. I thought that sounded really fun. Now I also have The Beast You Are by Paul Tremblay. I'm reading Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay right now. That's another one that I have right here. I got pretty far into that one too. That was good. Horror movie by Paul Truman. I don't know what The Beast You Are is about. I don't remember what that one's about. But horror movie by him is about this movie that was made, and it kind of reminds me of like, you know how like after movies, like the Poltergeist movies and the Exorcist movies, after those movies were made, a lot of bad, weird things happened to a lot of the actors and producers and things of those movies. Like a lot of those people had some bad, unfortunate things happen to them. Well, this book, horror movie, is kind of based off of a lot of the lore of that. It reminded me of that because this book is about a cast of people who are making a movie called Horror Movie. And they make it or whatever, and after they get done, bad things happen to all of the cast except for one guy. So now this one guy, it's like 30 years later or whatever, this one guy that has survived this long, there's somebody else who wants to remake the movie. Kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer has been remade again in 2025 or whatever. So they want to remake the movie Horror Movie. And he's like, I don't think that you should. So, yeah, I listened to a pretty good chunk of that too. And I've got Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. I don't know what I'm going to get through all of this stuff in the 2-week span that I have with him. I doubt that I'm going to be able to, but that's also really why I want to go ahead and take some time out this morning and, get started on these. I have another Toni Morrison book, God Help the Child. I noticed that I haven't read a lot of the classic blacks that I really want to get into, like Langston Hughes, Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston. I've kind of skirted around them, but I haven't really dived deeply into them the way that I really want to. And so I think this season of my life, I'm ready to get into some Toni Morrison, especially since some Toni Morrison and some Zora Neale Hurston, all of those people. Also because my daughter, she's in her senior year of high school this year, and she had an assignment to read Their Eyes Were Watching God. First she had to read Song of Solomon like when her school year first started by Toni Morrison. And she kind of struggled with it a little bit, but she ended up reading it and she ended up liking it. And I was like, I think maybe I want to get into reading the Song of Solomon and see what it is. But I didn't get to get into it at the time. But right after that, then she got to read Their Eyes Were Watching God. So we watched the movie to that together. And she, she liked the movie or whatever. And I think that she was a little bit easier able to kind of see the book with her mind's eye a little bit easier now that she watched the movie with me. So that was good. Their Eyes Were Watching God was produced by Oprah and it's starring Halle Berry and the guy with the real sexy eyes. His name is escaping me. Oh, he's got the beautiful eyes and I cannot think of his name. I'll put it, if I make a clip of this, I'll put it in the description. In the bottom of the screen. But she liked that movie and that was good. So I said all that to say I'm kind of looking forward to diving into the Black classics, more of the Harlem Renaissance authors, not just Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston, but some of the lesser known Harlem Renaissance authors too. That's going to be fun. So yeah, let's find what we want to listen to. I think maybe I want to start a fresh book for this live. I guess I could go with The Guest by B.A. Paris. I also have that. I like her, B.A. Paris. I listened to Behind Closed Doors by her a couple weeks ago, and that was really good and enjoyable. So, in this one, The Guest is about a lady who, her and her husband are going through some problems. So she moves in with another mutual friends of theirs, another married couple, and basically overstays her welcome. She's basically the worst. So she moves in with them and starts doing too much, and they want her ass out, but I don't think she's going for it. So that sounds good. Natural Beauty. What's that? By Ling Ling Huang. Musicians reflect China in the cultural version. Ability that she abandons her future for a job at hiring beauty. So I don't know. Okay, so that sounds good. Natural Beauty. So it says our narrator. It says sly, surprising, and razor sharp. Natural Beauty follows a young musician into an elite beauty obsessed world where perfection comes at a staggering cost. Our narrator produces a sound from the piano no one else at the conservatory can. She employs a technique she learned from her parents, so also talented musicians who fled China in the wake of the Cultural Revolution. But when an accident leaves her parents debilitated, she abandons her future for a job at a high-end beauty and wellness store in New York City. Holistic, that's cute how it's spelled. Holistic is known for its remarkable products and procedures, from remoras that suck out cheap Botox to eyelash extensions made of spider silk, and her new job affords her entry into a world of privilege and gives her a long-awaited sense of belonging. She becomes transfixed by Helen, the niece of Holistic's charismatic owner, and the two strike up a friendship that hazily veers into more. All the while, our narrator is piled with products that slim her thighs, smooth her skin, and lighten her hair. But beneath these creams and tinctures lies something sinister. A piercing, darkly funny debut, Natural Beauty explores questions of consumerism, self-worth, race, and identity, and leaves readers with the shocking and unsettling truth. Maybe that's what we'll get into this morning. Let's see how long it is first. It's pretty freaking long, I'm sure. How long is it? Oh, it's not even an audio. God damn it. You have to read that with your Kindle. Oh. And I'm already reading enough on my Kindle, with my Kindle. I'm reading, on my Kindle, I'm physically reading Shirley Jackson's A Haunting on Hill House, and also I Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't know that was a book. I had no idea that I Know What You Did Last Summer was a book released in the 70s. I think it was like 1973. Oh, things you learn. And then they did the movie in the early 2000s, and they just redid it again, like this year sometime. Okay. So I guess I'm not gonna do that right now. The Cabin at the End of the World. That also sounded interesting. That was a movie too. This is audio. Now let's see. This is about the people who come to the little girl's house and they tell her that she has to get her parents to come outside or something like that to save the world, or something to do with the saving the world. Let me see. 7-year-old Wynn and her parents, Eric and Andrew, are vacationing at a remote cabin on a quiet New Hampshire lake. Their closest neighbors are more than 2 miles in either direction along a rutted dirt road. One afternoon, as Wynn catches grasshoppers in the front yard, a stranger unexpectedly appears in the driveway. Leonard is the largest man Wynn has ever seen, but he is young, friendly, and he wins her over almost instantly. Leonard and Wynn talk and play until Leonard abruptly apologizes and tells Wynn, "None of what's going to happen is your fault." Three more strangers then arrive at the cabin carrying unidentifiable, menacing objects. As Wynn sprints inside to warn her parents, Leonard calls out, "Your dads won't want to let us in, Wynn, but they have to. We need your help to save the world." Thus begins an unbearably tense, gripping tale of paranoia, sacrifice, apocalypse, and survival that escalates to a shattering conclusion, one in which the fate of a loving family and quite possibly all of humanity are entwined. The Cabin at the End of the World is a masterpiece of terror and suspense from the fantastically fertile imagination of Paul Tremblay. Yeah, I remember that movie coming out. I didn't see it, but I definitely remember it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I'm just read the last couple of books that I have in my last couple of book descriptions that I have in my Libby Library, because I never get to really talk about my Libby audio books on my channel. So we already did horror movie, Out There Screaming, Educated, Cabin at the End of the Woods. We talked about The Guest, but I didn't read the thing. Ooh, let me do that. I'll read you the synopsis for The Guest. New York Times bestselling author B.A. Paris captivated psychological thriller readers everywhere with Behind Closed Doors. Now, yes, she did, honey. Now she invites you to another home full of heart-pounding secrets in The Guest. Some secrets never leave. Iris and Gabriel have just arrived home from a make-or-break holiday, but a shock awaits them. One of their closest friends, Lori, is in their house. The atmosphere quickly becomes tense, and as she oversteps again and again, sleeping in their bed, wearing Iris's clothes, even rearranging the furniture, Lori has walked out on her husband and their good friend Pierre over his confession of an affair and a secret child. Iris and Gabriel want to be supportive of their friends, but as Lori's mood becomes increasingly unpredictable, her presence takes its toll. Iris and Gabriel's only respite comes in the form of a couple new to town, but with them comes their gardener, who has a checkered past. Soon, secrets from all their pasts will unravel, some more dangerous than they could have known. Now, that bottom part is what's getting on my nerves. Like, Iris and Gabriel's only respite comes in the form of a new couple in town, but with them comes their gardener. Like, I don't really care about the new couple's gardener. I gotta see how that part sits with me and how she writes the new couple's gardener into things. I don't know if I necessarily care to read about. But I'm gonna have to see. I don't know. I don't know why in the world that's getting on my nerves. So that was The Guest. Insomnia by Sarah Pembroke. Emma can't sleep. Check the windows. It's been like, oh wait a minute, no, I started at the wrong part. My bad. In the dead of night, madness lies. Emma can't sleep. Check the windows. It's been like this since her big 4-0 started getting closer. Girl, don't I know it. Lock the doors. Her mother stopped sleeping just before her own 40th birthday. She went mad and did the unthinkable because of it. Looking on the children. Is that what's happening to Emma? Why can't she sleep? Insomnia is the twistiest and most gripping thriller since Paula Hawkins' The Girl on the Train, an absolute must-read for the suspense fans. Joe Hill. Joe Hill. Who was that? He's known. I feel like I've read him or I know him or something. Anyway. And then the last two books are the Toni Morrison books. Oh, no, I have one more. That's not the Toni Morrison book. The Beast You Are by Paul Tremblay. A haunting collection of short fiction from the best-selling author. Oh, okay, so this is another anthology, from the best-selling author of The Pole Bearers Club, A Head Full of Ghosts, and The Cabin at the End of the World. Paul Tremblay has won worldwide acclaim for illuminating the dark horrors of the mind in novels and stories that push the boundaries of storytelling itself. The 15 pieces in this brilliant collection, The Beast You Are all monsters of a kind, ready to loudly and lovingly smash through your head and into your heart. In The Dead Thing, a middle schooler struggles to deal with the aftermath of her parents' substance addictions and split. One day, her little brother claims he found a shoebox with the dead thing inside. He won't show it to her, and he won't let the box out of his sight. In the last conversation, a person wakes in a sterile white room and begins to receive instructions via intercom from a woman named Anne. When they're finally allowed to leave the room to complete a task, what they find is as shocking as it is heartbreaking. The title novella, The Beast You Are, is a mini epic in which the destinies and secrets of a village, a dog, and a cat are intertwined with a giant monster that returns to wreak havoc every 30 years. A masterpiece of literacy, horror, and psychological suspense, The Beast You Are is a fearlessly imagined collection from one of the most electrifying and innovative writers working today. I guess I could have sat down while I did this. I didn't expect to get so wrapped up in reading the synopsis for the library books, but for my Libby Library books, but it's fitting. It makes sense because right now I haven't really been able to read a lot of the synopsis for them. I just downloaded most of them this week, and so it's time for me to get into a new one. And by me gonna go ahead on and listen to something this morning for a couple of hours, it makes sense to go ahead and read the synopsis. So I might as well sit on down. I should have been sat down. I'm hungry. I want to make something to eat, but something light though. I really don't want anything heavy. And I need to go to the grocery store. I really do. But I want some, maybe I'll make me a smoothie or something before I make a cup of coffee. I need to put something on my stomach. I did not eat all day yesterday. I came in here and I ate 2 crackers with chicken salad on it. Count them, 2. 2 crackers with chicken salad on it. And came in my room and just laid down, had me a moment. I laid down, before I knew it, I was asleep. With no help, no aid, no nothing. Like, life has been lifing lately. And I got an attitude. I really do. Like, it has been one whack thing after the other. And it's starting to piss me off, baby. It's starting to piss me off. Because I don't like stress. I said this in my other videos. I hate stress. But I guess stress is life. And I guess this part of my life is going to have that. But that, it sucks. It really does. It really, really sucks. And it's really heavy. And it's a lot on you. It's heavy on your heart and your mind and things. Goodness. So I've been kind of not really eating, not really sleeping, trying to read more, trying to pray more, and be there for my mom more, and be there for my family a little bit more. So that's been different and tasking too. Also, some other things in my life changed where I had to make some adjustments. And I've been adjusting, I guess, okay. I'm kicking and screaming a little bit. Well, I won't say I'm kicking and screaming. In the beginning, I was kicking and screaming. Now I'm then I went down to kicking. Now I'm just kind of got a little bit of an attitude. Because I'm starting to adjust to it. As long as I can, keep on my schedule, keep on the schedule that I've been having, I should be okay. Stick to my schedule, and as long as my commute to work isn't hard, it's so crazy. So, okay, back to the books. Now, the last two are Toni Morrison books. God Help the Child by Toni Morrison. A powerful, a tale that is forceful as it is affecting, as fierce as it is resonant. Mikoko Kakutani, New York Times. At the center, a young woman who calls herself Bride. While stunning, blue-black skin is only one element of her beauty, her boldness and confidence, her success in life, but which caused her light-skinned mother to deny her even the simplest form of love. Okay, wait a minute, let me start over because I didn't read right. At the center, a young woman who calls herself Bride, whose stunning blue-black skin is only one element of her beauty, her boldness and confidence, her success in life, but which caused her light-skinned mother to deny her even the simplest form of love. There is Booker, the man Bride loves and loses to anger. Rain, the mysterious white child with whom she crosses paths. And finally, Bride's mother herself, Sweetness, who takes a lifetime to come to understand that what you do to children matters, and they might never forget. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to move to that this morning. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Published in 1970, is the first novel written by Toni Morrison, winner of the 1993 Nobel Prize in Literature. It is the story of 11-year-old Bicola Breedlove, a black girl in an America whose love for its blonde, blue-eyed children can devastate all others, who prays okay. Honey, not me having to learn how to read again. I get it. Maybe I do need to be physically reading me some Toni Morrison because this is the way she be writing. Even just descriptions is kind of confusing. Okay, it's the story of 11-year-old Bicola Breedlove, a black girl in America whose love for its blonde, blue-eyed children can devastate all others, who prays for her eyes to turn blue so that she will be beautiful, so that people will look at her, so that her world will be different. This is the story of the nightmare at the heart of her yearning and the tragedy of its fulfillment. Okay. I think I'll probably read this one before God Help the Child. That sounds a little more interesting. So, I guess for this morning, it's a choice between the guest and the cabin at the end of the world. Let me see what the guest is doing.
presents The Guest by B.A. Paris. Narrated for you by Emily Joyce.
Okay, so I downloaded quite a few of her books. Betrayed by My So-Called Friend by Tanisha Stewart. Wish I Never Met Her. The Delinquent by Tanisha Stewart. The Patient. The Student. She's got a lot of those thriller titles that I like, where it's just like the, and then a word like The Patient. Those are always fun. And she's a new Black author that I haven't read before, so, you know, hopefully I like her, you know, like I like Brandon Massey and, you know, the other people. Frida McFadden, and she's always fun. Sherry LaPena. Hopefully she'll be good. And also what I like about a lot of her books are they're not real long. They're like 3 hours, 4.5 hours. That's not bad. That's always fun too. Okay, let's see what they're talking about now. Betrayed by My So-Called Friend is just an hour long. So maybe that's what we'll do. Like, I'm not understanding. Wish I Never Met Her. This is part of a horror series, the dating app horror series, book 3 in it. Quincy Rogers has a good woman right in front of him, but he can't see the forest for the trees. Instead of embracing the one who loves him, he chases tail on a broad new dating app, a dime a dozen. Quincy needs to see if the grass might be greener on the other side. He figures the woman he has will give him another chance, and he'll do the right thing later. Unfortunately, Quincy will soon learn that tomorrow isn't promised, and neither is the rest of today. That's hilarious. Goodness, that is very, very true. Because see, he's seeming like he about to get on somebody's nerves. Oh, and everybody got time. That's hilarious. That sounds cute. Okay, so that was Wish I Never Met Her. What is... I'm gonna also do... Alright. Betrayed by My So-Called Friend by Tanisha Stewart. Again, part of another series by the Betrayed series. This is book 1. June is in an online relationship with the man of her dreams. Not online relationship. With the man of her dreams, Jermaine. He is the first person she met that seems to know her before they ever even spoke. Although they have never met in person, she is sure he is the one. But there is only one problem. Her beloved Jermaine isn't real. She is being catfished by someone very close to her. Someone she thought she could trust. Oh, the stupid. Oh, that's hilarious. No. I might have to do that one too. We just might have to have a day of listening to the foolishness and just stay live and make it a thing maybe. So, I downloaded quite a few. Let me see. The Delinquent by Tanisha Stewart. Oh. They said she needed help, but the real help she needed was escaping this place with her life. Nia Smith thought her biggest problem was her parents' crumbling marriage, but when she's framed by a crooked cop and sentenced to Bordeaux Behavioral Hospital, she finds herself trapped in a living nightmare. At first, the hospital seems like a place of healing, but Nia soon discovers the horrific truth. It's an underground chamber of torture, experimentation, and death, all concealed behind a gleaming facade, ruled with sinister precision by the corrupt Dr. Jekyll and her sister, Officer Hyde. Hilarious. Nia becomes a target for their sadistic experiments. As the vicious treatment takes its toll, stripping away her grip on reality, Nia must find a way to expose the hospital's monstrous secret before it's too late. But with the entire system pitted against her, does she have any hope of escape? With the clock ticking down to the day she'll be declared a failure, Nia's only chance rests with her high school sweetheart, Swift, who is hatching a do-or-die plan to bust her out. If they can outwit the diabolical staff and unmask the hospital's criminal conspiracy before time runs out, they may just save Nia and the countless other innocent victims. But with twisted minds controlling her every waking moment inside the asylum's walls, can Nia maintain her grip on the truth long enough to survive and expose the hospital's horror? Her fight for freedom has begun, if only she can survive long enough to see it through to the very end. Wow! Okay. I might have found me somebody new that I like. I love finding a new author, and especially a new black author, a new black female author. Yes! That makes me very excited. So, The Patient by Tanisha Stewart. Nice to meet you. So, The Patient is summary. A morbid, chilling, and deeply disturbing tale. The Patient is a pulse-pounding psychological thriller by the best-selling author of Everybody Ain't Your Friend and the Quiet One series. After a rough upbringing, Nina thought she was destined to be one of the have-nots until a surprising turn of events catapulted her into everything she ever wanted. The best days of her life, however, quickly turned into the worst experience she ever faced. Diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, Nina is told she has less than 6 months to live. Her health is failing rapidly and time is running out. Nina is doing everything she can to survive. But what if her demise is the goal? What if sickness isn't her only problem and there's a killer in her midst? A pulse-pounding drama full of twists and turns, this series is fast-paced, straight to the point, and packs a powerful punch that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The Red series is composed of self-contained stories that can be listened to in any order. Yay! That sounds, I don't know, that book sounds a bit deep. A little bit more than what I care for right now. But still interesting though. The Student by Tanisha Stewart. Very good. This is fun. Yay, I'm feeling much better too. I'm going to have to pick one quickly though so I can put this on the charger. It's about to be on its last little bit of battery juice. So, The Student by Tanisha Stewart. Dive into the mind of a disturbingly troubled college student in this pulse-pounding psychological thriller by the best-selling author of Everybody Ain't Your Friend and the Quiet One series. Knock it off and stop. Nicholas always strived for perfection. Nicholas always strived for perfection. But he never could measure up to his mother's unreasonable demands. His hopes of passing the prerequisites for the pre-med program at the prestigious Plankton University are dashed when he fails out. He has almost lost hope, but maybe he can find it in psychology until he encounters Professor Jackson. For an introductory class, her standards are way too high. As time wears on, Nicholas feels like he's in over his head. His mother doesn't know his secret. Professor Jackson won't let up on his grades, and sooner or later, the walls will come crashing down around him. Maybe Nicholas can reason with Professor Jackson. Maybe he can make her see his point of view. Maybe they can come to an agreement about his grades. Because the only other alternative is to kill her. A pulse-pounding drama full of twists and turns. The series is fast-paced, straight to the point, and packs a powerful punch that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Cute! The student. That sounds a little more interesting. But I guess for right now, I do want to get into Betrayed by My So-Called Friend. That sounds a whole lot better than what I was getting ready to listen to. That B.A. Paris book. I gotta be in a different mood and different frame of mind for that kind of right now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good British thriller. I love a, but I need to wake up. I need to wake up with some bullshit. So I want something a little more fast-paced, a little more up right now. He's terrible. Now he wants to come back in. I'm going to have to do a video where I read and show you what I have in my audio library. The things that I've read and the things that I want to read in my audio library on Audible. My library is kind of good. I have a lot of books in Audible. So I would go through and just pick out, like I still have the Ethics series on there I listen to. There's still a lot of other books that I really want to get into that I haven't gotten into yet, like The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I have a lot of John Mars on here too. Love him. I have really yet to be disappointed by any John Mars book. He's another British author that I love.
This is on.
Betrayed by My So-Called Friend. Written by Tanisha Stewart. Narrated